I am Xucheng Hu, a master's student and graduate research associate in the School of Environment and Natural Resources at The Ohio State University. When we are thinking about the concept of soil health from a producer's perspective, there are often two questions that are asked by the producers. How much of the cultivated land has been degraded since the shift from native land use to agriculture? And what is the maximum or realistically attainable soil health goal for an individual field? Combined, these two questions brought up the concept of soil health gap. This gap could be referred to a specific soil property or the overall soil health condition in a particular crop field. Within this context, to discover the difference between soil health benchmarks, we selected 11 different sites, including 2 forests, 2 pastures, and 7 crop fields at Great Strait Agriculture Laboratory to conduct this research. We used the Comprehensive Assessment of Soil Health framework, developed by Cornell University, to quantify the soil health condition between each land use. The output from this framework will provide a unitless number from 0 to 100, and the higher the number is, the healthier the soil. This graph shows the overall soil health condition of the sites we investigated by using Cornell Soil Health Framework. It indicates that the 2 pasture sites have the best soil health conditions and are better than the 2 forest sites and all other cropping fields. However, the deciduous forest still presented a very good soil health condition represented as a natural ecosystem. So, why are we still suggesting pasture as the potential soil health benchmark? As we know, soil properties play a big role in ecosystem services, which explains why soils in the cropping fields and natural ecosystems differ. One key difference is soil pH. Forest soils usually have a lower pH, which is not ideal for most crops. Also, soil microbial communities and their activities vary significantly between forest and cultivated soil, affecting the soil functionalities. Microbes adapted to the forest ecosystem may not support the need of a cropping system. In managed pasture scenarios, soil health conditions more closely resemble those of croplands than forest ecosystems. This similarity presents an opportunity to establish effective soil health improvement guidelines in cultivated land and help to identify and bridge the soil health gap. Soil management practices must consider these differences to maintain soil health across various ecosystems. For soil health improvement, targeting at the soil health benchmark, these 4 principles suggested by USDA, which are minimize disturbance, maximize biodiversity, soil cover, and living roots, should be followed as guidelines. Each bullet point represents the management practices that supports each of the 4 principles. The soil health gap was developed to determine and interpret the soil condition discrepancies between a specific site and the optimum soil health condition. And there are 2 highlights I would like to summarize from our preliminary research. From our study, pasture land use was suggested as a potential soil health benchmark, providing soil health improvement guidelines. It represents the optimum but realistic soil health goal. On the other hand, native forest ecosystems were not a good fit for application as a soil health benchmark, primarily due to the different soil pH conditions and the influence of soil biological properties. However, the managed pasture land use may not be a universal scheme for optimum soil health conditions. Other site-specific factors should be considered before setting up a soil health benchmark.